Hello, yes, I'm back, Doris Ballard, ConcordTV. I am really excited about my next co-host. We have a relationship with the Concord Monitor that is really, that we treasure here at ConcordTV. And one of our relationships is that we tape quite often, like 9 or 10 months out of the year, once a month, the Science Cafe series. And I have here none other than the reporter from the Monitor, who is all about science and the Science Cafe. And I want to welcome David Brooks. How are you?
Great to be here.
I'm so happy to have you here.
It's fun.
Because I'm going to find out all about you now. So now it's your time to tell everyone exactly who David Brooks is.
Now you are desperate to fill air. So let's see. Who I am a newspaper reporter. I've been a newspaper reporter in New Hampshire for almost 30 years. Wow. Last couple of years at the Monitor. And I cover science and technology topics, but also a little bit of everything. Monitors the size paper where reporters cover a lot of different things. So I'm a daily newspaper man, born and bred, ink in my veins and all that stuff.
So you also have apparently science and technology in your veins as well, am I right? Are you what they call a geek, a science geek?
I'm like a geek wannabe, you know? Because I'm a journalist, I don't have to actually do anything. I can just talk about it. So I just talk about geek stuff without having to actually accomplish it. I got my college degree in mathematics, but it was very, very obvious that that was not a career I was going to be able to pursue. So I ended up in journalism. But
how did you go from mathematics to journalism? I'm curious.
Well, I drew the comic strip for the college newspaper, so it was
You're an artist
it was obvious from there. You know,
but you're an artist as well.
Well, everybody wanted to be Doonesbury back then, so you didn't have to draw well.
The fact that you can even draw anything that resembles
two eyes, nose, that's close. You know, as a face.
All right. So now the Science Cafe. How did that all start, and how did the Monitor get involved with that?
Sure. Actually, it was started by a couple of science fans, a guy named Dan Marchek down in Brookline, and Sarah Eckel in Hopkinton, who is actually going to be a panelist. So you can come meet Sarah this coming Tuesday at the next one. Anyway, they both wanted to start a Science Cafe, which is they exist in Europe for a while. It's a informal discussion. Not a lecture, it's a discussion about science technical topics. The idea being, you know, people like to get together and talk about sports, people like to get together and talk about politics. Well, why not get together and talk about science?
Of course.
And the key is it's held in a bar. Keep the atmosphere informal. So they got together and they started it, and they asked me to help out. And so I said, sure, it sounds awesome. It's the sort of thing I was looking to do with the kids grown and gone. And so we started it, and I thought it would be terrific. It would last 6 months, and I could, you know, write a couple columns about it. And that was almost 7 years ago. Wow. And in fact, and now there's two of them. We have two of them. There's Science Cafe in Nashua and Science Cafe here in Concord. They both run, as you say, monthly. Right. We take off December and July and August, so 9 months of the year. Other science cafes have started since then. I like to think they're galvanized by us. There's one in Manchester, Sea Science Museum does it. One started up out in Portsmouth. So
that's great.
Monthly, we choose a topic, get a couple panelists, show up. You show up. If you're in the audience, you say, I've always wondered about this, or I want to have a beer. And you just show up. It's free, and we talk about it. And it's great. They're packed houses.
And it happens at the Draft?
The Draft,
yes.
Upstairs at the Draft Sports Bar. So you walk past the 147 televisions they got going at one time and go upstairs and sit down wherever. And it lasts for a couple hours. The beer and the food is flowing the whole time. You can, you know, the waiters and waitresses are sort of crawling between the tables to serve you. And it's really a lot of fun.
Right. And the collaboration with ConcordTV, we were so pleased when you asked us, because it does two things. It allows us to have a relationship with the Monitor, the TV, community TV, and local newspaper that is valued by the community.
As well it should be.
And Melissa is the one, she's on our staff, she's the one that goes out and tapes them. And and then we show it on, and there are several access stations throughout the state that show the Science Cafes that we put up there.
It's great you do it. We actually tried to get something like this down in Nashua and never got it together. So the fact that you folks can do it and do it so well and do it so quickly we like that a lot.
Well,
We
we're
like it
happy
a
to
lot.
do that, and we get a lot of content, great content for the channels and for the public, and
so
they can also watch on demand too. YourConcordTV.org.
People can come in and see
Yeah.
it, see old
Right.
ones, see if they
Go
want
on
to
over
go.
to the draft. So first Tuesday, is it?
Third Tuesday of the month.
I should know that.
Although
Okay.
it sometimes switches,
Yeah.
November's switching because of Thanksgiving, so.
So, but you can check with the monitor.
Yeah,
and,
sciencecafenh.org is
Okay.
the website.
So I think what we're going to show right now is one that was recently taped, and it has something to do with regenerative medicine, and that's the Q&A portion. So why don't we roll in that Science Cafe clip right now?
Regenerative medicine, I've read a little bit about an organ that where they put a scaffold in and then put in the right cells to build it up. Is that the type of thing you're talking about? And if you could you explain a little bit about how that process would actually work, please?
Yes. So there's a few different ways to approach that. Tissue engineering in general always involves a combination of cells, either from your body or from someone else. They could be stem cells or they could be somatic cells from your skin. A scaffold that gives the tissue some form, or the organ, and then some kind of culture medium, something to grow it in, what we call growth factors. In the case of a whole organ like you're talking about, what people have been working on is to take animal organs, for example, lungs, or discarded human organs that aren't fit for transplant, and they wash the cells out of them. So now what you're left with is just the structure of the organ with no cells left in it, and the advantage there is that the signature of the donor, whether it was a pig or an organ donor, is gone. So the chance for rejection has been lost. And what those scientists are trying to do is take cells from your body, which again you can get from as little as a skin biopsy, grow enough cells to repopulate that lung with your cells, and then implant it. So what they've done is they're trying to regenerate or generate an organ that is implantable that won't reject.
Actually, why don't you follow up with that? My first question should have been more what is the Institute, and give us the, your elevator pitch as to how it came to be and what you're trying to do and why it has to exist.
Manufacturing. Knowing how to manufacture these things in more than a mom and pop craft venue, and to be into a manufacturing center. So we decided we really should try to shift our emphasis a little more toward that. There were a couple of amazing things happen, and the Department of Defense put out an application to have one of their Manufacturing USA institutes, which deal just with manufacturing problems, solving manufacturing problems in advanced manufacturing. And Tom was part of the group the group that won it, and one of the groups who got to write it. So it was the 6 months that he was writing the proposal that was his nightmare. And so that's how the Institute came to be. Got announced that it was funding on December 21st last year, and just launched in Manchester on July 28th. So it's really to solve that manufacturing problem.
Hi there, I'm Jim Weber. I'm on the staff here at ConcordTV. We're very excited this particular hour. We have someone here who has never been on Concord On Air, so that's something to look forward to. Here at ConcordTV, I'm a marketing and administrative assistant, and I help a lot with a special event we'll be hearing more about during this hour. But let me introduce another Jim who is right here with me. His name is Jim Doremus. He is the CEO of the Concord Family YMCA. We're really thrilled to have him with us today. He has a lot of information about terrific things that are happening at Concord Family Y.
Great, Jim. Thank you very much.
Very welcome. Can you tell us, I was reading about Concord Family Y, and they said it's the 6th oldest YMCA in North America, which I thought was totally cool. And you've been around, not you, but Concord Family Y has been around for 92 years. So that was like phenomenal. We were talking earlier, when I moved here in 1967, they had just built a swimming pool, which is still in operation with upgrades and a terrific facility you have. But Concord Family Y, something I read in your literature said, it keeps evolving to meet community needs. Could you tell us some things about how it does that in the recent years, for example?
Sure, Jim. Well, first of all, the mission promise of the Y is to help strengthen the foundation of community through a focus on youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. And so what that means is that we try to take everything that we do fits into one or more of those areas of focus. And typically what we do is we take a look at what are the kinds of things that are going on in the community that are critical needs. So we do our assessment, we do our needs assessment, meeting with key community leaders, getting feedback from others in the community to help us focus on what is important, what falls within the wheelhouse that we're good at, and that helps us determine through our strategic planning process what community needs that we're going to really focus on. And currently, I think the things that we really drill down on are we're the largest provider of licensed child care in Merrimack County. Wow. So we provide preschool child care, we provide after-school child care, we also have a summer day camp. And a significant number of the kids in our programs come from families that receive financial assistance in order to receive those programs and those services. So that's one of the major focuses for us when it comes to child care is to help make sure that it's accessible to all. Right. And what that means, that enables families who, where financial means are an issue, they can afford to be able to work, they can afford to be able to go to school to improve their opportunities for employment in the future, and it helps those families make sure that they're financially more stable. From the development of the kids' perspective, our program is a Licensed Plus program. It's certified by the state of New Hampshire as Licensed Plus. And that's a higher degree of accountability, also a higher degree of quality, according to the state. So only about 25% of the 11 or 1,200 child care facilities and providers in New Hampshire are Licensed Plus. So that's one example of what we do.
And I was noticed you've been very lucky to have a lot of community partners in terms of businesses who offer support to enable you to offer, for example, child care after-school programs for low-income families or people who cannot afford to pay certain amounts, et cetera. It's amazing you have such a quality program. We are going to shift gears a bit, and we'll get back to these subjects as we move along. We have a lot to do here at Concord On Air. There's a lot happening. We have a terrific, as you've been watching today, you've been seeing our videos from our Concord Originals series, and they're mostly involving musicians, creators, and writers. This particular segment is about a playwright who is actually based in Manchester, but has written plays that have been successful in Concord. One of the plays he wrote was an adaptation of Charles Dickens called Charles Dickens' Ghost Stories, and it won the New Hampshire Theater Award in a community players production a few years back. He's also been given a professional award and a community theater award from the New Hampshire Theater Awards. His name is David John Priest, and this play is actually a play he's written about a New England actress named Ruth Gordon. She won the Oscar for being in Rosemary's Baby in 1968, where she played the elderly witch neighbor next door. But she had been an actress on the Broadway stage since 1915. And when she won the Oscar at age 75, she said, "It's really encouraging to have something like this happen to you." So here's a little bit about a play. David's doing a reading of it at the City Auditorium lobby with a number of New Hampshire actors. So let's take a look at that happening.
Hi, I'm David Priest. I'm a Concord original. I've been writing since 1980, and I started writing plays as a way of dealing with things that were going on with my life. The plays that I've done have been, well, they've all been full-length plays, but they've either been original pieces of works, or they've been like adaptations or a bio of a particular artist. I find my inspiration through people by sitting at Starbucks reading the local news, reading an article from the New York Times. Anything will trigger interest with me, and then I would start to think about that subject matter, and before I know it, I'm doing more and more research into that. It's the beginning stages of a play. The play that I'm working on now is titled The Story of Ruth, and it's about the life and times of Ruth Gordon. And I had known about Ruth Gordon, but I became kind of immersed by her in 2003, and I started to do research about her and found out that she was kind of born in a poor family in Quincy, Mass, and she had everything going against her. Her height, her position in life, her looks, the lack of talent. But she was able to rise above all of that and become an actress on the American stage and in movies. When I mentioned to friends and associates that I was working on a play about Ruth Gordon, they would say, well, who cares about Ruth Gordon? No one cares. She's long forgotten. But I don't think that should be the case. These people were instrumental on the American stage, and their works still lives very true today, and they should not be forgotten. Here are some excerpts of a reading of my play, and I hope you enjoy it.
Has she arrived yet?
Not yet.
Any word from her?
Nothing this morning.
She should be here by now. What's keeping her?
I haven't heard anything from her since Tuesday when she called and said she wanted to have a copy of the revised script.
Did I tell you that she sent me her copy marked up with her suggested changes?
She has a reputation for butting in.
Maybe she can help you goose it up here and there.
Do you think my play needs goosing up?
I didn't say it did.
Why are you getting yourself all worked up?
For your information, my play is a biblical drama.
Did I say
not
it
a
wasn't?
comedy.
Did I say it wasn't?
I wonder why she's late.
Maybe she's caught up in traffic.
She's living at the Algonquin. It's only a couple of blocks from the theater, for Christ's sake. But give her a call and see if she left. She won an Oscar, you know.
But that was several years ago. Wasn't it last year that she did that Shaw play at the center?
The play got good reviews, but she got roasted by the critics. Do you think she's up for this?
She seemed willing.
Oh, willing and able are two different things.
You're quiet. Here she comes now.
Good morning, everyone. What a glorious day. Sorry I'm late, but I was walking around old neighborhoods, and it brought back so many memories and everything that I forgot what time it was getting to be.
Yes. Well, if we could start now. Do you know everyone?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, this is the director, Mike Quarters.
Oh, yes. Well, we've spoken on the telephone a couple of times. Good to see you. Oh, I remembered him when he was just starting out as an actor, and Garson and I saw him perform at the Playhouse one summer.
Have you met with our playwright, Marvin Felstein?
Oh, I've spoken to him on the telephone, but I couldn't tell you what he looked like until now. Oh, you're even more than what I imagined you to be like. Nice to meet you. Say, where'd you get the inspiration for the play?
The Bible?
Well, you can't get any better than that. Go on the stage. Be an actress. Well, I'd gone to the Colonial as an average human being with worries and doubts, and questions, but when I came out, I was changed, and I wasn't gonna turn back. My mama would say,
Ruth, be a nurse, be a secretary, get married and be a wife, be a lady.
I don't want none of that. I want to be an actress.
Oh, Ruth, why do you have to be so different?
All the things that had happened in our house, but I had never seen her cry before.
Don't tell Papa. You'll break his heart.
Papa's heart was set on my being a physical culture teacher.
Why are you crying?
It's nothing. Ruth and I was just talking about her future.
Her future? That's all settled.
No, it's not.
What do you mean? I told Ruth that I was gonna stake her to Sergeant's School of Physical Education.
But I don't want to.
You what?
I don't want to be a physical culture teacher, Papa.
You...
Clinton, some people get inspired over things, others over others. You got inspired to be a sailor, not a carpenter like you said your father was.
She doesn't know what she's inspired over.
Be patient, Clinton.
What do you think you're inspired over?
I don't know.
Tell Papa, Ruth, he wants to know.
I don't want to be a physical culture teacher.
You told me that already. Why not?
Because I'd rather be dead.
Oh, Ruth, don't say that. God will hear you.
Why would he listen to crap like that? God's listening to harps and trumpets and watching sparrows fall.
And this is coming from a man who is an atheist. How does he know so much about the Bible? Just saying.
God's listening to everybody, Clinton.
Okay, God's listening to everybody. But I'm listening to her. God damn it, don't just sit there like a dying calf. If you got something to say, spit it out.
I want to go on the stage.
What?
I want to be an actress.
An actress? Is she crazy or something?
I'm not saying anything.
What makes you think you got the stuff it takes to be an actress?
I don't know. That was the truth. Was it God or luck or St. Chrysostom, the eloquent, the golden mouth that gave me the words? I want to be an actress.
And we're back. A lot of talent going around in Concord, as you just saw with that reading for the new play by David Priest. And my co-host is none other than David Brooks, reporter from the Concord Monitor, and the Science Cafe dude. Yes, is that all right if I called you dude? Okay,
yes.
Right. But I don't know if you know this, but we have a project going on now during this day called the Say Hello Project. So if you are go to Facebook, go to ConcordTV on Facebook, like ConcordTV on Facebook, and then post your comment on there and say hello to David or I or Jim or whoever else is on the set. And we will say hello back to you on the air. How cool is that? Right, all right.
Absolutely.
So I want to talk to you about a project that you're probably not aware of. I'm sure you aren't, but it's about the Dogs of Concord.
The Dogs of
Dogs
Concord.
of Concord.
I am dog ignorant, I'm afraid.
No. Do you have a dog?
No, I don't.
Oh, phew, because you probably would have said, how do I get my dog on this show?
No.
Okay, well, ages ago, David, I thought it would be cool to just have a videotape dogs from around town and get them on TV and have people get to see the cute dogs that are everywhere. Well, it took Melissa to come on staff to say, yeah, I'm all over that one. And over the summer, Melissa is our programming and production assistant, and she went and videotaped over 50 dogs around the community. And she interviewed some of the dog owners.
Dog owners, not the dogs.
Well, the dogs too. A
Okay.
few of them lick the lens. And and we've had every Wednesday, Melissa likes to call it her Woof Wednesday, where we see 4, 5, or 6 of those dogs every Wednesday. So it's a really fun project.
I certainly see some dogs downtown and around
They're
Concord.
everywhere.
They're everywhere,
I mean,
so they deserve airtime.
Exactly.
Certainly more than some of us do. So.
And who
yeah.
doesn't love their dogs being on TV, right? Okay, so with that, are you excited to see Dogs of Concord?
Is there a dog here?
No.
No, okay. Yeah,
No.
oh, on TV, yes.
All right, enjoy Dogs of Concord. What's your first name and the name of your dog?
My name is Willow, and this is my dog, Luna.
What kind of breed is Luna, and how old is she?
She's a Klikai, and she is 6 months.
What does she love most?
She likes puppy cuddles, which is where she crawls into my mom's lap, and she will chew a toy.
I think you love her a lot.
Yeah.
This is Eleanor and Rigby. Right? I told you you'd laugh.
So Eleanor and Rigby are so cute. How old are they? What are the breeds?
So Rigby is a mini dachshund, and he's 6. And Eleanor is a Chihuahua dachshund, or a Chiweenie, and she's 5.
Tell us the name of the dog, the breed, and how old.
He is, his name is Oliver. He is actually about 4.5, we're guessing. I don't know his breed. He's kind of a mutt. He was found wandering in Tampa, Florida.
So you rescued him?
I did, I guess. Or he rescued me, you know how
What does he love most?
He loves being walked. He loves Sunapee Harbor. He loves treats, of course, and bones.
Dogs of Concord is sponsored by Sandy's Pet Food Center, providing natural, organic, and holistic pet food since 1984. Health starts from the inside out.
Hi there, we're back with Jim, and now we have Joe Casper with us. Please welcome him. We're here with a segment of one of Concord's 2017 most fascinating individuals. I probably move in different circles, but in those circles, I can't escape hearing the name Joe Casper, and I've heard for many, many years. And today we are very, very grateful to have him with us. And from what I read, it's just such a well-deserved choice this year for 2017 Most Fascinating Individual. I do want to read some things here. This is from Sue Fortier from the Good Life program. And she says, Good Life Programs and Activities is especially fortunate to have had Joe on the board of directors 6 years and as chair for the last 2 years. Joe connects with board members and participants and makes everyone feel welcome and valued for their unique contributions. He is a catalyst and an ambassador for so many civic projects and community activities. And I do want to read a couple words from Tim Sink, the president of the Greater Concord Chamber of Commerce as well. Tim says, his dedication to the Chamber's mission is evident and measurable and based upon his active participation at multiple levels. He's one of the Chamber's most impactful programs is the Concord Area Student Leadership Program, CASL, and the program engages selected high school sophomores in in-depth leadership and civics training. And Joe has been the co-chair of the steering committee for more than 10 years. The program has literally changed the lives of many students. He's also heavily involved with Leadership Greater Concord, which was talked about earlier today. And that program has graduated more than 400 people who serve in leadership positions throughout the city and the state. And so these are from Tim Sink and from Susan Fortier. And now I'd like to hear some from you, Jim. See what you have to add to that.
Well, Joe, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
The recognition is well-deserved. And Joe and I know each other from some other involvement. Joe's been one of the founding members, one of the charter members with the Capital Area Wellness Coalition. So we've worked together with others for, I think, 8 or 9 years now.
Yeah, it was 2009 we started
That's right. That's right. And so Joe's been a part of the steering committee.
Yep.
We don't have a formalized name for it, but helped to provide some leadership and guidance with that. And the Wellness Coalition, really, its whole focus is to help within this community create greater awareness and encourage people to develop healthier lifestyles. And there are, I think, give or take, Joe, about 35 different organizations and individuals who are part of that right now.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And we do a number of things that we've done a summit a few years ago, a conference. We brought in a national speaker, and Joe is a part of that organizational effort. We have, for a few years now, had the mayor's hosted the Mayor's Walk. Joe's also been a part of creating the Wellness Awards. So I think, Joe, correct, 3 years or 4 years that we've had.
I want to say it's 4.
4. I think it's 4.
I think it's 4.
Yeah. And we've recognized businesses and individuals in the greater Concord community for their efforts to encourage and support wellness activities. So that's another piece of what Joe Casper has meant to this community.
The list does go on and on here. I can't read it all. We don't have the time.
Right.
So it is that amazing, including Dancing with the Concord Stars. You know, so
that's
that
right.
Was so that was a blast. I had a blast.
I believe an award was given out that night, but we won't mention it here.
That's right.
Anyway, so we do want to thank you on behalf of Concord Community Television and everyone who's watching and everyone who's part of this community in any nonprofit civic organization. They know Joe's work and they know this is so well deserved. It's just a very important moment for us to be able to give this to you and present you and say thank you so much for doing all that you do.
Congratulations, Joe.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we're going to show a little movie right now. Okay. Oh, in a minute. Okay. So let me see. What's that? Oh, okay. So how did you feel when you were nominated with this? Did you have a particular reaction? You did? Yeah,
I said,
sure.
Really?
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, it was Susan Greenblatt over, she's Director of Development over at Good Life. She said, I just heard you got selected as one of Concord's most fascinating individuals. I had no clue. No clue. Most surprised, very grateful, certainly, to be selected. You know, you go out and you do things in the community. My goal is to help people. If I can put a smile on your face, make your day a little bit better, I feel good as well. And I get involved in the community. I love all the organizations that I've been involved with. I've also been involved with Stay Work Play New Hampshire. So what's unique is the fact that I kind of span, you know, you've got the up-and-coming young professionals in that organization at 20 and 30-somethings that are looking for growth, looking for a place to live here in New Hampshire. And then you've got the Chamber, and you've got all the programs within the Chamber. And then you've got Good Life, which is older active adults, which is continuing to grow.
Yes.
That's been my shining star from the start of that. And so it's really spans the whole life cycle within the greater Concord area. And Concord's changed. I am so happy that, you know, I helped to get money put together for this whole downtown Main Street project on the Tiger Grant. I think Concord really needed that going forward. It's changed. I just drove up Main Street coming up. You couldn't find a parking spot.
It's true, yeah.
Here it is, you know, in the Sunday afternoon, downtown was full. And that's the way you want it to be.
Yes, absolutely.
And so there's so many great things going on, and it's been great being involved with all the organizations. The Castle program, it's unique. It's the only program in the entire state of New Hampshire that has that. No other chamber has a student leadership program. And it's helped the students tremendously.
I would think, yes.
All the students get interviewed. It's a great opportunity for you as a student in the fact that you actually have an interview. You present a resume. It's a hard decision when we have to make that choice. But here again, there's just so many different venues. And then you've got the Wellness Coalition, and you're doing good, healthy things. And a lot of that is what we do at Northeast Delta Dental. So it all blends in together, and you know, I'm thankful that you know, Tom Raffio and my boss, Connie Roy Chajowski, let me get out there in the community to do these things with representing Northeast Delta Dental.
And I think what's been amazing, and just looking at this picture, is that you have been able to affect people's lives at every stage of life in this community and see them through successfully, be it health, be it personal development, be it leadership, in many different aspects at many different times of their lives. And that's so important for the community. And I think we really want to thank you for that as well. So it's just so important.
Well, I'm so honored to be selected.
We're just thrilled to shoot. And this year it's more important because we only have 4 choices. And we used to have 8, right? And this year with 4. I think the 4 selected are special people, very, very special people.
Definitely.
Throw this out. He's a justice of the peace.
There you go.
Oh, that's right.
There you go.
I marry people. I announce road races.
That's right.
I'm a DJ on the side. I'm a Toastmaster. I'm a
and Dancing with the Concord Stars.
And Dancing with the Concord Stars.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Okay. And I think we're going to go right to our video now.
22 minutes past the hour of 10 on a Saturday morning.
Yeah. Memories, yes.
He's involved in. I mostly know him as the board chair here at Good Life for the past 6 years. We have weekly board meetings, but he's also involved in the board at the Chamber of Commerce in Concord, Capital Area Wellness Committee, and he's not just sitting on the board. Joe is active in every board that he is a part of. He is a doer.
Why, hi, my name's Joe Casper, and I'm Director of Corporate Services at Northeast Delta Dental. I've been with Northeast Delta Dental since 2001. I'm active on a number of different boards within the greater Concord area, such as the Chamber of Commerce. I'm Secretary for the Chamber of Commerce. The board chair for Good Life programs and activities. I've been involved with Good Life since 2011. And let's see, what else am I involved with? Oh, there's the Capital Area Student Leadership Program. CASTLE, which is getting ready to start up again in this fall. It's the only program of its kind in the state of New Hampshire being sponsored by Northeast Delta Dental and the Chamber of Commerce. I'm chairman of the committee for that. I'm also on the, I'm a past chair, but I'm still on the leadership steering committee for Leadership Greater Concord. I'm the lead person for Media and Communications Day. I'm involved in the Capital Area Wellness Coalition since its inception by Mayor Boulay back in 2009. And let's see, what else did I get involved with? I'm on the New Hampshire Wellness Coordinators Council, producing seminars for folks that are in the human resource and wellness fields. We have seminars quarterly. That's in association with Concord Hospital. And I've been a member of the Lions Clubs here in New Hampshire for 39 years. I grew up in Lions. My father was a Lions Club member and a past district governor.
Joe is a fascinating individual. He's so genuinely involved, not only with Good Life, but in the community. His works in Concord with the Chamber, with the Coalition for Health, again with us and our board of directors. It's really been a great experience for me. This is my first nonprofit to work for, and so Joe was really instrumental my first year in getting me acclimated and going in the right direction.
I actually was born in Massachusetts, moved up to Laconia, New Hampshire, when I was probably 3 years old. So while not a true New Hampshire native, I consider myself a New Hampshireite, living in New Hampshire most all my years. I grew up in Laconia. I left and went to St. Anselm College. I'm a St. A's graduate. Then we moved here in the late 70s, and Concord hadn't changed a lot. I remember coming down here in my teenage years, coming to Concord Camera because I used to do black and white photography, so I'd get darkroom supplies. The Main Street hadn't changed. Both kids were born at Concord Hospital. Concord Hospital hadn't changed since I was a kid, and I had to come down for an operation back in the 60s, and it was the same kind of place. They rolled up the sidewalks and everything else, and we moved back up here in 2005, and having spent 18 years down in Hudson, it was getting to be suburban Boston. I had had my job for 4 years already with Northeast Delta Dental and wanted to come back up to the area because I liked Concord. It was central. And I was just amazed at the change that had gone on. I work for Connie Rochajowski, who is the Vice President of Human Resources, as well as Tom Raffio, our President and CEO. And Tom liked putting me out into the community, and because of my public speaking capability, I've been involved with Toastmasters for over 20 years. I'm a past area governor. I enjoy public speaking. And so he put me out in the community, and that's how I ended up here at Good Life, believe it or not, because Good Life was looking for members for their board of directors, looking to rebuild their operation. And he said, I got just the guy for you, and this is how I end up either into the chamber or on Leadership Concord or in Capital Area Student Leadership. It's because Tom, looking to be a good community member and be a good corporate citizen, got us out into the community, and today he continues to do that. So through his efforts and through Connie's efforts, I'm out in the community quite a bit, and I have a blast doing it. I enjoy meeting the people. I've gotten to know a lot of folks here in the city of Concord. Well, you know, I feel so fortunate because that I work at both ends of the life spectrum. You know, at the senior adult end here at Good Life, I've been active for all these years, and I've been board chair now. I think I'm in my 4th year. This will be my final year as board chair. But on the other side of the spectrum, those coming up, we work with the Capillary Student Leadership Program. I'm a big proponent of being involved in the community, because when you're involved in the community, you get a chance to know everybody at all different levels. And that's how you interact and get things done.
If you're just tuning in, I am Doris Ballard, the director of Concord TV, and this is a live 8-hour Concord On Air, and my guest is none other than the Concord Monitor reporter and Granite Geek columnist, among other things. You know, David Brooks, you tell more stories than just science and technology.
I do. I try to anyway. I write a lot of different things for the paper, as all the reporters there do. So.
Right, but science is your thing, science and technology.
That gets dumped in my lap, absolutely.
Yeah, well, we'll be talking about that a little more again before we leave. But something that's happening at Concord TV is a little bit of comedy. We're bringing in comedy into the station. I don't know, we have a gentleman called Greg Bogus who tapes a show. Do you know Greg?
I do know Greg.
He tapes a show. He's been a comedian for 20 years called The Bogus Hour.
Yes.
And that's his last name, Bogus.
Yeah,
and it's a half-hour show.
That's what he says, if you believe a comedian's word. Absolutely.
True. Anyway, we have his show on here every now and Melissa schedules it on Channel 22. But he was also part of a new project that we have with comedy. And one of them was this past Valentine's Day called The Love Project. We held it at New England College Concord. It was a sketch comedy. And it was 10 comedians. I was lucky enough to be part of it. And my husband was too. And we raised $600 for scholarships for youth video camps.
Excellent.
So we were able to send 3 students this year, 3 classes to someone who couldn't afford it, and then we have 3 more for this next year. So
and with Greg involved in that title, The Love Project, it was a family-friendly event?
A little bit on the edge, but it was Valentine-friendly. Let's put it that way.
Valentine-friendly.
All right, with that, let's watch it, and we'll be back. I'll be back with David Brooks in the next segment. So here's the story of The Love Project. A group of 10 fledgling comedians, some professional comedians, got together and decided to do a little sketch comedy and try our hand at that. So we thought that why don't we have something for Valentine's Day. So on February 17th of 2017, on a Friday night, we had a full house at the New England College location on Main Street in Concord, attending the first ever, and probably the last ever, of the Love Project, a Valentine event that was all comedy, and it was a comedy workshop. So this was all material that we had written, that the 10 of us had written, and it included some stand-up and, of course, singing, and some good, some not so good. But it was really a great time to bring a little bit of comedy to Concord TV, because Greg Bogus, who is also involved in that show, he has a show called the Bogus Hour, and Concord TV does air that program.
My name is Cassandra Miller, and I've been a part of the LAFTA in New Hampshire projects since the beginning. I was a part of the first stand-up comedy class, and Doris asked me to be a part of the Love Project and write some of it, participate in some of it, act in a lot of it, and then she surprised me by saying, hey, let's sing in it too. So kind of a jack of all trades in the Love Project.
So having said that, we decided to make it a fundraiser for Concord TV for our youth video campers. So because it was a full house, we were able to raise $600, which provided approximately 5 scholarships for youth to attend our youth video camps. And we are very happy to say that 3 of those scholarships have been used, and there are still 2 left. So this is a project that benefited Concord TV, brought a little fun into the lives of people who wanted to try their hands in sketch comedy and stand-up comedy.
I think that there's something really special about rehearsal versus the actual show. It's a different kind of energy. And, you know, you can sit there in rehearsal and come up with all these different jokes and sit here and say, well, what about this and what about that? But then during the actual show, when you have an audience and you're like, oh, they really liked when I did that, I'm going to do that again.
And it is now forever on video.
Hi, we're back. It's the Jim and Jim show here
Jim
again.
and Jim show.
And happy to be here in this hour. It does go on. But we do want to tell you, if you've tuned in halfway through the day or partway through the day, one of Concord TV's main things that we do is our Easter extravaganza here at the station. It's an event, special event for family and friends that we perform around Easter time, usually a week or 2 before. I think next year it's going to be 2 weeks before. We'll be at the Bektash Shrine Center. And we have over 200 Easter baskets. We raffle. It's a great time for family and friends to get together. There's live music. We have like 10 live music groups. About 15 local nonprofits participate with it. It's phenomenal. And we also have special visits for everybody with a special gentleman who is sitting to my right, Mr. Bunny, who is with us. The Easter Bunny is with us here. I know Thanksgiving has not come yet. Even Halloween is not upon us. But we really couldn't wait, could we? No, we just couldn't.
An early visit, right?
It is an early visit, and we needed that bunny. Anyway, but what we really want is to get our community members who are watching and people that do support Concord Television to actually get involved with the Easter extravaganza. Okay, what we do is we have like 200 Easter baskets that we raffle, and people in the community put them together. They donate Easter baskets. They could be based on a theme. It could be something for little girls. It could be something for boys. It could be a princess theme. It could be Tonka trucks. It could be Legos. It could be Batman. Anything. The bunny's reacting here. He's very good at that. Let's see. But if you'd like to support Concord TV and the things that we do, we raise money for new equipment at Concord TV, and that equipment is used in our film programs for youth, our summer camps that we have. Kids use that equipment, and also programs that the general public comes to create programs here right in the studio. It could, programs about politics, religion, public current events, anything like that. All that new equipment is used here. We like to keep it state-of-the-art so that everyone who uses our local media center here is able to use terrific equipment. Mr. Bunny, I think, agrees with me on all of those points. So what can we do, Bunny, to get people to donate? Can we put out our hands and encourage them to donate? I don't know. If you have any ideas, let us know. Anyway, but we have a special bit of film here we are going to show. Do you have any questions?
I just want to ask how many people are involved and participate in the
participating. We probably have, I think, about 12 to 1,400 people come through the door to see this every year. It runs over 3 days, and this year it's going to be March 16th, 17th, and 18th. Right. We are hitting St. Patrick's Day with the bunny this year, so we'll be having probably a dual-themed day.
Now, is the Easter Bunny there with us?
The Easter Bunny, I think, is ready to raise a pint, if I can say. And I don't think he's going to be waiting till March 17th either.
Okay.
But yeah, we're going to have a special festival this year on the 17th as part of it, just for you, Mr. Bunny. Okay. So, there you go. But we thank everyone who participates with us. It really means a great deal to us. We have a lot of fun there. And we have a terrific video now that's going to show you what it looks like if you've never attended. Please contact us at yourconquertv.org or give us a call at 226-8872. Thank you, Melissa. And here we go with our film. Thank you.
It's a magical day at the extravaganza.
Well, David, that was a lot of fun. We got to see the Easter Bunny. How about that?
Yeah, didn't get to see him raise a pint.
I
We
know.
heard about it.
Anyway, I know that we're going to be talking about the Boys and Girls Club auction in a bit, but I want to go back to Science Cafe. So other topics that you've had have been very interesting. And again, for those of our people who might have just tuned in, Science Cafe is at the Draft,
At
which
the
is
Draft.
on Main Street, South Main Street in Concord, the third Tuesday of most months,
Most
right?
months, yep. 6 o'clock.
6
Starts
o'clock.
at 6 p.m.
And they can have, speaking of raising a pint, they can have a drinks and
Absolutely
food
raise a
and-
pint, you bet.
Right. So topics coming up. What have you got for, when is the next one and what will the topic be?
So the next one is this coming Tuesday. The topics are, they go all over the place. I mean, as I say, we've been doing it for almost 7 years, and topics have ranged from, Bitcoin and electric cars to Zika and the mathematics of political polling. That one was a real geek fest.
Wow.
But this coming Tuesday is going to talk about cancer and the technologies or the breakthroughs that are really changing the approach to cancer. This is all cancers, not any particular one, but two things: immunotherapy and genetics have, in the last several years, really led to some astonishing new approaches. And so we got several clinicians coming in to answer questions about it, about what this means, about what's happening now, what's going to happen, and basic questions like what is cancer anyway, and how do therapies work? Because in a way, cancer really isn't a single disease, even though we treat it as. So that's the kind of thing we can talk about. And as always, it'll be driven entirely by the questions that come from the audience. So if you have questions about it, show up, and it's free. Anybody can come in. You might want to show up early if you want a table. Come and ask questions.
That's great. So that's happening this coming Tuesday.
This Tuesday, 6 o'clock.
17th, right?
Yeah,
right.
17th.
17th.
Yeah, 17th.
And now, it's apropos because today was the very big walk with making strides against breast cancer. So,
yeah, I almost didn't make it here on time because I got stuck in traffic.
I know. Well, they're competing with us for time and people, but that's okay. It's all great. It's all great. And a lot of people who were on the show were in the walk as well, which is wonderful. All right, so we're looking forward to having more of a relationship with the Monitor, and
Sure.
We thank you very much.
We're delighted you
Yeah.
guys, as I said,
Oh.
we're delighted you do Science Cafe. That really makes a big difference.
And it's great content, so we encourage people, if they can't make it to the draft, to go watch it on demand, YourConcordTV.org, and they can do a search, Science Cafe, and even Science, and you can watch all of the past shows.
Yeah,
So,
and you can stumble on it through YouTube as well.
Through YouTube as well. We have
brilliantly
yeah.
edited segments, very nicely
Yeah.
filmed. Yeah.
Melissa is the one in charge of that, so it's great.
Yep.
Speaking of relationships, another relationship that we have that you're probably not aware of and want to make people aware of it is that every year for dozens of years now and more, Concord TV has been taping the Concord Boys and Girls Club auction live.
Okay.
And it's at their location. Last year they raised over $100,000
wow.
for all the good work that they do. So it's a relationship that we have that we're very proud of having, and it's a long day, but it goes by very quickly. And I get a chance to bid on some of the auction items, which I love.
So they auction off boys and girls?
No,
Or
no.
No, that's not what they do.
Oh, that's very clever. You're very clever. You should do some of that comedy. No, they auction off all kinds of items, vacations and gift certificates, just before Christmas. So stay tuned to hear about that. So you'll be hearing when the date is, and it'll be a lot of buzz about
And
it pretty soon.
they are, joking aside, they're a great institution.
Oh my gosh, they serve
They do
amazing
good stuff.
numbers of
They do
families.
good stuff.
Right. Well, David, thank you so much for being one of my co-hosts.
You
It's
bet.
been delightful, and can't wait to continue. Hopefully, I'll be able to go see some more of them, but I encourage the public to check the Monitor. Great paper, very good local community paper and state paper. So thank you very, very much, and
Thank you.
enjoy next Tuesday.
Thank you
All
for
right,
having me.
bye now. And now let's go on for a roll-in on the Science Cafe.
This is just an awesome night. So right now, we have raised a grand total of $126,000. Absolutely awesome.